Hello everyone, welcome back to Sonika's history class. Today we are going to start with print in Japan. Till now what we have seen, the first video, it is just the third video. In the first video we have just seen what all we are going to study in the chapter, and in the second video we have seen the first printed books which were in China. There we studied that how woodblock printing was introduced in China. It was the system of where inked surface of the wood blocks, it was rubbed against the paper and only one side of the paper was printed. All this, then we have seen the traditional Chinese accordion book, how did it look and all this, then how print diversified in China. Okay, now we will see print in Japan. As you can see in this picture here, I got it from somewhere in Google, don't know. So it is how print reached China. This picture tells that or depicts that very beautifully. Buddhist missionaries. You all know that Buddhism is a religion. Missionaries are people, those who propagate. Okay, there were Christian missionaries also. We have seen in India their major motive was to spread Christianity, right? So these Buddhist missionaries, when they were exploring China, so then returned back to Japan. These Buddhist missionaries only, they brought with them hand printing technology. Brought with them does not mean that they brought wood blocks and gave to Japan. They just got that idea from China regarding hand printing or wood block printing. Okay, so how did print reach Japan? It was through Buddhist missionaries from China. They explored China. When they returned to their country, they not alone they returned, but they brought with them those ideas of hand print technology. Okay, so hope you are getting this. Then, as we have seen, the traditional Chinese book was named as accordion book. It was printed on the one side, then the sides, in zigzag way, it was stitched together or sewed together. In the same way, the oldest Japanese book, it was named as Diamond Sutra. This is a picture of Diamond Sutra, the picture which you are seeing right now on your screen. This picture. It was only of around 6 sheets only. Now you will wonder that 6 sheets are book, Those days actually, even to print a page, let us not say page, even to print one line, it required a lot of hard work, because woodblock printing requires you to carve those letters on wood. Okay, it is very laborious work, very time consuming work as well. Okay, because once you carve any letter on the wood, it is not necessary that same piece of wood would be used again, because you will not write same in the whole the entire book. So each and every letter or line, it had to be carved on the wood, then dip in the ink, then rub on the surface against the surface of the paper. So it was only of 6 sheets. It was named as Diamond Sutra. Okay, and this book was on the religious teachings of Buddhism. Okay, so hope you are getting. Let us get started now with the textual part. Print in Japan, it came into Japan with Buddhist missionaries from China, introduced hand print technology into Japan around 768 to 770 AD. I have made very clear AD and BC system in a previous video, you can watch that. So 768 to 770 AD, between these years, Buddhist missionaries, they returned to China from and they brought with them hand print technology. And the oldest Japanese book was printed in 868 AD, almost a century after, almost after 100 years, because it is not so that Buddhist missionaries have come to Japan and they started shouting or gathering everyone, oh, we have brought with us woodblock printing, let us print. These ideas get time to evolve, because this was new technology. How these people in Japan, they will take this, or how efficiently or how accurately they can do this. So it took time. So in 868 AD, Japanese also printed one book. The oldest Japanese book was Diamond Sutra. Remember this. It is also very potential one more question for NTSC as well. It contains 6 sheets of text and woodcut illustrations, as I showed you here. Apart from this text, it also had these woodcut illustrations, as you can see this painting. Okay, so such illustrations were there, and it could be like this also, that in between text was written, and on the sides, on borders, there were illustrations. Okay. So pictures were printed on textiles, playing cards, and paper money also. Now initially print in Japan, it was restricted to religious uses only. As you see this Diamond Sutra, it also contained Buddhist teachings and all. Then later print diversified in Japan also, and now there were other uses of print as well. Initially on textiles, means on clothing or bed sheets or whatever. On textiles also there were prints. Now it could be text or it could be any paintings, etc. And then playing cards and then paper money. Okay, on playing cards, playing cards also they came into use now, or printing, they were printed as well. Then paper money also started coming into being. In medieval Japan, poets and prose writers were regularly published. Poets and prose writers means those who wrote poems and essays or stories, etc. They were also regularly publishing their books. Now books became cheaper because before this hand woodblock printing, these books were written manually. Okay, means using ink and that column and all. These books were written manually. But now with the coming of woodblock technology, once you have carved those letters on wood, once you have made one book, but the same woodblocks you can use to make copies of those books, right? So means once you have made the Diamond Sutra, you already have those woodblocks, so you can have many copies of Diamond Sutra. And also bookshops, booksellers, they were used to hire scribes to copy the books and all. Okay, so now books became little cheaper than before, and now they were in abundance, because initially that hand writing with hands manually, it took time for writing books. But now with woodblock printing process became little more, little faster. So now there were more books in market. Printing of visual material led to interesting publishing practices. Visual material means anything, where you see pictures, where you visualize. For example, like before going to watch a movie in theater, you see those hoardings outside, right? That is visually how that movie attracts you or convinces you to watch that movie. Okay, so same such methods were used by different publishers, and it made that publishing practices very interesting, because when we see something, and also if you can also have that experience, if your books don't have anything in colorful, or no paintings, no photos and all, how boring it seems, right? Because these paintings or these photos which are given in your books, they make books little more interesting. You always try to see that what is written besides this painting or this photo, what does it depict and all. So same happened. Now visual material made publishing more interesting. In the late 18th century, in the flourishing urban circles at Edo, later known as Tokyo, illustrated collections of paintings. Now, in late 18th century, flourishing urban centers at Edo. Now, what is Edo? It can also be one more question. Edo is present-day Tokyo in Japan, the city Tokyo. That time in 18th century, it was called as Edo. Okay. So now, this place illustrated collections of paintings. Now means so many painters or writers there, they started writing, publishing their books, and on the borders these illustrations were made, visual print was made, and these paintings were especially regarding tea gatherings and all. They depicted urban culture. Now urban culture means it can be of marketplaces, it can be gardens, right? It can be tea stalls and all, involving artists, courtesans, and tea house gatherings. This is how I have taken one picture here. Gathering for tea in modern Japan it is, but such paintings were made, okay? Because in India, just having tea, it can be leisure time activity, or it can be, whenever we get up in the morning, we take tea. Even in the evening, 4 or 5 o'clock, we have tea. But in Japan, it is a ceremony, something like that. People have gatherings on tea. So such paintings, when people gather on tea, such paintings were made. Means now print diversified the that topic, that on what topic or on what we should paint, these ideas now became more diverse, that common common activities of life, someone is sleeping, someone is reading, someone is running, someone is sitting or lying down or having food and all these matters, they were printed now. Libraries and bookstores were packed with hand-printed material of various types of books on women, musical instruments, calculations, tea ceremonies, flower arrangements, proper etiquette, cooking, and famous places. You can see here that the major topics of painting, they were very common from common life. Major books were written on women also, on musical instruments, on calculations for mathematicians, for tea gatherings, as I already showed you here. Then flowers, flowers look beautiful, so such flower paintings. Then proper etiquette and cooking and famous places. Such paintings are now printed in Japan. So, and the hub was Tokyo. As we have seen, which place became hub of these printing technology in China? It was Shanghai. In Japan, it became Edo, which today we call as Tokyo. So this was all about print in Japan. Question can come for 3 marks, that how print developed in Japan. So you can write all these points starting from that Buddhist missionaries brought it from China from 768 to 770. Then first Japanese book was printed in 868. Then you can just write all these points. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you soon in the next video. Take care.